6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exclusive next level webinar, Amplifying Your Business Through the Power of Instagram. I'm your host, Adam Carswell, joined by my amazing co-host, Austin Linney. And today we are entering the mind of Olivia Crane of Amplified Social. Definitely a next level backstory to this one today. But before the fun stuff, we'll have some more fun. Austin, Olivia, you guys had some really cool small talk going on here before we hit record, but we'll start with Austin and then Olivia. What are you looking forward to in today's presentation, Austin?
I'm looking forward to getting a clear vision for all the audience on, how to promote on social media. There's a lot of noise out there. And, there's, 32 different platforms. I think my dog's on 17 of them, I don't even know what to do anymore. Do you TikTok? And so I'm looking forward to delivering, a clear message on how to focus and get very intentional with your social media.
Love it. And Olivia, does that sound like the direction we're going to be going today?
Definitely. I love that you said that, actually, Austin, because I really want to just help people understand that you don't need to be extremely overwhelmed with all the platforms that are out there. We can go back to our tried and true, and it doesn't have to be this super daunting process. And there's ways that anybody can grow.
Awesome.
All right. And just to be clear real quick, can you guys hear me right now?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I was making sure the Facebook stream was up and running, so hit the mute button for a second. Great. So today's webinar is sponsored by Liberty Real Estate Fund, the world's first single tenant net lease security token. For more information on Liberty Fund, you can visit libertyfund.io. There will be a link to that in the description, as well as the comments right now. Thank you, Aaron. And we're also sponsored by Raise Masters, the #1 mastermind for elite capital raisers. You can learn more by applying via the link again in the comments. Thank you, Aaron. And if you're with us on the replay, you can find a link in the show notes. Thank you to our production team, which really behind the scenes, we had Olivia, myself, Austin, Fletcher Wheaton, who is somewhere in the plane over Cabo right now, Aaron Eiler. You guys rock, and really we cannot make this work and function to the level at which it does without you guys. So thank you so much. And if you're with us here live today, hello. And thank you for investing your most valuable resource with us, your time. Let's go ahead and get that chat box warmed up. You can go ahead and punch in who you are, where you're tuned in from. I know Olivia, you guys be ready to use that chat box. Olivia has some fun and games for you later, I think. If you're with us on Facebook too, we are going to provide a link so that you can join us from Facebook here on Zoom and get a more intimate experience if you so choose. If you're comfortable on Facebook and just want to hang out there, don't worry, we'll still take care of you. And I guess, last but not least, if you're joining us on the replay, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the message. Check out the show notes for links connected to the message. And if you're on the Dream Chasers platform, be sure to drop a 5-star rating there and follow a link to the video replay. All right, tons of value coming your way today. Please grab those notepads, exit out of any other distractions you might have in front of you as we make our way through this webinar. Time for the backstory. Where to begin? Guys, so I moved to Newfoundland in 2019, May 2019. Out and about, meeting a lot of people. In one place in town here, they make great food, and the owner and I connected, and he's like, I don't even know how it happened, but he's like, this is the person that we use. Oh, I think we were going to collaborate on a project. And he's like, this is the person that we use for social media. You should interface with her. She's going to be the one to talk to. So that's how Olivia and I met. And I noticed definitely from a marketing perspective, they were doing a great job growing their brand here locally. And I started to see that Olivia was a big piece of that. And then I think I just kept following her on Instagram, and I'm seeing she's doing this, she's doing that. She's implementing her funnels. I could tell she's working with a coach or a system that really helps from an entrepreneurial perspective. A lot of people think you just got to go out there and just do your own thing. From what I've seen, and Olivia could probably attest to this, you still have to follow and find a system that's going to help you scale and not just be an entrepreneur who's burning yourself out. And she's definitely found, you can tell us maybe some of your secrets here today, Olivia, but she's tapped into a network that has the system that she's tweaking to her own vibe. And it's been really fun to just watch her grow over the past few years. So today she's going to bless us with her knowledge on Instagram, which happens to be her expertise. Before I forget, I had to do this too. This is how you make the event truly live. You like this, Austin? You get the sidekick, the 360 view going.
You're always ahead of the curve, dude. Hey, I'll be honest with you. My boy in Arizona just got his setup finished, and I'm like, dude, like I'm so jealous right now. He's got the 4 cameras in the room. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only, just for anyone out there real quick too, that's the only little tweak. I know it might seem complex, but you just hook another camera up to your Zoom and you can do something like that. So where was I? I was telling a super long story that needs to become shorter. So
although you are frozen, Adam, you're frozen on that 360 view. I know it was cool, but
let me click around here and make sure I can get back
not.
to the regular. How about now?
You're good.
Right as I was bragging. So anyways, Olivia, that's enough out of me, guys. That's the story. But I have to say this too. The light, my best light that I have, I actually bought off Olivia for like $100, best deal ever. And so, yeah, so there we go. And then, as I mentioned, normally Fletcher co-hosts a lot of these. You're probably going to start to see Austin more co-authoring a book with him right now. And he came in, he's the in case of emergency break glass guy. So Austin's going to be a lot of fun to have here. Now, finally, I'll shut up. Olivia, any context beyond what I just shared before we get to the presentation?
Yeah, I love everything that you just said, actually. And it's funny because, well, I'm using the same ring light because I had 2 and then I sold one to you. And I feel like if I didn't sell you that ring light that day, we wouldn't be here right now. So I'm glad everything happens for a reason. So that's so awesome. Just love your introduction and kind of what you were speaking about there, especially about like following a system and not having to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's something that a lot of people think that they have to be brand new and original. And of course you do, of course that helps, but there's definitely a system that you can follow in the entrepreneurial world. And we're going to take a little bit of a look into that as well. And so hopefully that relaxes you all who's on this call already. So, and maybe before we get started, we can just do this now. I always love to see people's comfort with Instagram. So like on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1 being, I never use Instagram at all. I don't know anything about it, to 5 being, I'm super comfortable with Instagram. I absolutely love it. Just type in the chat box so we can kind of gauge everybody's like interest level or just comfort level with Instagram. It's definitely like my fave platform for so many reasons. Adam, 6 wasn't on the scale. Just kidding. That's awesome. I'm so glad.
Did you say? Oh, did you say 1 to 5?
I know. I kind of do that to trick people to see if they're listening. You would be so surprised. Everybody goes off the scale thinking 1 to 10. So listen up, guys. You're gonna miss it. That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, if you're middle of the road, this is going to be a great presentation for you because it's more like. You're going to get a lot out of it if you're already at least a little bit comfortable with the functions of Instagram. However, you really don't need to know a lot about the technology or a lot about, how to make things look pretty. Really, what I want to go into is the core strategy behind Instagram and how and why it is so successful. And Austin and I were chatting a little bit about our Instagram presences before we kind of came live here. And, he was just saying, like, I think it was like, God, Austin, I know you're muted now, but quote me if I'm wrong, like 95% of his sales are coming from Instagram. And that's the exact same with me. It's like Instagram is my saleable platform. I actually recently implemented a CRM system with a tech company up in Ontario. And so that's, by the way, I'm like all the way out on the East Coast in Newfoundland, same with where Adam is. And so I'm dealing, cross country with this big firm trying to implement this big CRM system to manage all my customers and everything. And they look at me and they're like, okay, so where are your contacts? Like, where are your sales? Where are your contacts? And I was like, they're on Instagram. Like, that's where my leads are. That's where my customers are. That's where I'm getting all of my conversations, all my leads, nurturing my relationships and moving them through the funnel right on that app, which is a little bit scary. Got to start moving over people maybe to an email list or something, which I have to, but yeah, it's where it's at. So I'm excited to present to you guys. And I do have slides. I don't know, I said to Adam, like, do you want me to have slides? Do you want to have a chat? And, I want this to be a mix of like casual and a presentation just so I can keep on track. But certainly if anybody has any questions, please type them either in the chat box or in the Q&A, and we will get that answer, because I love talking to individual people about their businesses. Everyone is so unique, and it's really great to hear what somebody else is struggling with that might help you. So please feel free.
Awesome. Awesome. So here we go, guys. Yeah, don't be shy. Feel free to interact with Olivia in the chat. Questions and comments along the way, please. Again, utilize the chat box, but especially the Q&A box. That's what we're going to go straight to when we get to the Q&A portion after her presentation. And yeah, that's the format. That's where we're at now. So Olivia, are you ready to rock for about the next 20 minutes?
I think I'm ready. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if I can share my screen here, and so we can get my my slides up here.
All right. In the meantime, oh, cool. There we go. Ready to rock.
Whoa,
Okay.
whoa there. Yeah. That happened quicker than I thought. Okay.
All right.
All right,
Go for
guys.
it.
So this is going to be all about amplifying your voice through Instagram, creating compelling content in 2021. And I'm going to explain a little bit why this is so important to me in a little bit as we get in here. So I want to know if you guys can relate to this. And I think I lost my chat box, so I got to get that back up. So just bear with me for 1 second. Where's my chat box? There it is. Okay. All right, so I want you to type in the chat box if this is something that you can relate to. So you might agree that social media is super powerful. You recognize the importance of social media. You want to like really take it to the next level, but the task of really conquering social media or Instagram and really getting it down pat and feeling really confident and comfortable with it is getting pushed to the bottom of your to-do list. You're always saying, I'm going to do training, I'm going to learn more, I'm going to be an Instagram rock star, but it's just not happening for you. So let me know if you can relate to that. Maybe you're comparing your business to the newest and latest trends and you're feeling inadequate or hopeless. So this is something I hear so much with new platforms coming up between Clubhouse, TikTok, Reels are a new feature on Instagram. And guys, there's stuff popping up all of the time. And oftentimes that can make us feel really inadequate and really down about ourselves because we're not up on the latest trend. It's like, okay, Reels comes out on Instagram and you're like, oh my God, but I haven't even figured out like how to do a live yet or make a story yet. And so oftentimes it can make us feel a little hopeless when it comes to that. So let me know if you can relate. And then finally, your content isn't getting any engagement. So what used to work for you no longer does. So this is not Facebook 2012 where we can post a funny video of our cat and it go viral. This is 2021, and you know what we want to be doing in 2021 is making money. So we want to use our presence and our platforms in order to be able to better the lives of other people through our products and services. And I think that's really important. Just a disclaimer here, guys. I lost the chat box, so I can't see it. Oh, I got it. Okay,
Right.
Adam, I see your dollar signs. Thank you. I was like panicking. Okay. All right. So here are 3 reasons why your social media management is difficult and ineffective. Okay. So if you related to any of that, I hope I can kind of help you to lift that little bit of stress off and think about these things that might be making it a little more difficult than it needs to be. So the first thing is that you haven't really thought about a social media strategy that aligns with your business goals. So one mistake that I see people and business owners making is that they think about social media as a separate part of their business, when you really need to be thinking about social media as a support to your business and thinking about what your business goal is. So I get clients come to me saying they want to grow their Instagram followers. And my question to them is, what's your business goals? Where is your business at? Are you happy, satisfied with the sales that you're getting, with the bookings you're getting, with what's happening inside your business? So let's worry about that first before we go into how we're going to remedy that through social media. So always remember to create your social media strategy that aligns with your business goals. So think about what your revenue goals are, your booking goals, all of those things. Before you think about your social media. Next is you're trying to create everything from scratch rather than repurposing content or using inspiration. And here comes what Adam was talking about at first about, just using a system and using a strategy that's proven and that works. So, you don't always have to be the most creative person on the planet in order to make sales. You can repurpose things and you can use inspiration from people who are already successful. So that is something that's going to make your life a lot easier if you can repurpose and get inspiration from already successful places. And then finally, you haven't developed a system for moving people to a next step. You're trying to do everything at once. So you're trying to build awareness and create advocacy all at the same time. And guys, the thing is, we're in 2021, and this is probably something that was invented like, I don't know, a long ass time ago, but there's something called the buyer's journey, where it's basically like marketing psychology, that basically says there's 5 steps in order for somebody to make a purchase or take a next step. And so one thing I see a lot of people missing out on is they're focusing on one step of that journey, which is likely sell, sell, sell. Here's my product, here's my service, buy it, buy it, buy it. Whereas there is a lot of other steps in there that makes up your strategy as a whole and helps people to move through a cycle and move through a funnel in order to get to the next step and eventually go from not knowing who you are to talking about you on their own social media. So you don't need to try to do everything at once. There's a strategy to kind of move you through the different steps of that journey. All right, so hey, I'm Olivia. I've been talking to you now for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. And I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself. So I'm the owner and founder of my business called Amplified Social. I've been growing social brands for 4 years now and working with clients for almost 3. It's been such an incredible journey. And I just want to say plain out, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never grew up wanting to be a business owner. I never saw being an entrepreneur in my future whatsoever. And a little opportunity changed my life back in 2015 and opened my eyes up to the world of entrepreneurship, where I realized while I was in my 9-to-5 job that this is truly where I wanted to be. So I'm so thankful for that. And I'm so thankful for where I am today. And I love this world. And it's just taught me so much. It's so much more than business. It's really about this whole fulfillment in life, and business is something that's really given that to me. So I'm so thankful to be here with all of you today. I've been, like I said, been managing social accounts for around 3 years. When the pandemic hit, I lost all of my in-person clients, and it was such a blessing in disguise because I was able to take my business online, and now I serve clients all across Canada and even into the US with my various programs that I have, and I'm absolutely loving it. So thanks again for being here, and definitely connect with me on social media. I saw Aaron put in my Facebook link there, but of course connect with me on Instagram, and it's just at Amplified Social. All right, so let's get into this. So let's talk a little bit about the power of Instagram. Because I know some people said they were about middle of the road. Adam said he was a 6 out of 5 with Instagram, but I just want to talk about why it's so powerful. There's a couple of elements in the app that really make it just the best. And maybe in 5 years' time, maybe sooner than that, I'll be doing another presentation called The Power of, I don't know, Chihuahuaville. I'm like looking at my dog, and we'll be talking about some other platform that's even better than this, and you just never know. But here's why I think Instagram is just so amazing. First of all, there's this like transparency on this app, and call it creepy, call it stalkerish, I call it profitable. So if you can see where your audience is, who your audience is following, and what kinds of content they're engaging in, that's very valuable information for you to know. So unlike Facebook, where you add someone as a friend and they have to add you back in order to connect, you can actually see anybody's public profile by just visiting their handle, searching their name or whatever you have. So you can also see like who's following who, what accounts is this person following. So I always recommend, if you're a business owner, if you've identified who your ideal client is, find them. Where are they? Who are they following? If your ideal client, you know, is really into the Kardashians and spends her hours after work watching the full 20 seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, not me / me, you can bet that they are following the Kardashians. So I know this is like a super, obviously you're not going to go into Kim K's, 200 million followers and search for your ideal client, but just as an example, you can actually find these people if you know where their interests are. So Instagram provides a great sense of transparency and being able to see into that for yourself. It is the #1 relationship builder. So Instagram has specific features on there to help you build relationships with your ideal clients and your niche. For example, if you are someone who uses Instagram stories, you have the polls, you have question boxes, you have the little slidey heart eyes or the little slidey fire. I should learn these technical names. There's a lot of native features to Instagram that you should be using because it actually helps you to build relationships with your clients. There's, of course, the DMs, which is a great place to build relationships, and where I've just spoken about that. All of my potential customers are in there, and I'm chatting with them back and forth about their business. It's an easy place to chat with people. Message features, replying to story features, commenting, liking, sharing to your story. All of these things that Instagram offers is just its way of keeping you on the app, for one thing, but it's way of helping you to build a relationship with those people. And I think that's a really big reason why Instagram is so successful for business owners, is because you can really grow that audience deep and have deep and meaningful connections with your audience. And then finally, it offers clear organization. And I think this is something that's so overlooked. Like, if you look at a Facebook business page and go somewhere and try and find me like one little piece of information from that page, like, you're going to have trouble. Facebook has a lot of clutter on there, and they have a lot of options, which is great. I'm not knocking options, but Instagram doesn't give you a lot of options. Kind of like when the iPhone came out and the new one came out, and then the new one came out, and then the new one came out, and like the features didn't change. It was all like really simple, but you know, when you pick up an iPhone, how to use it. Same with Instagram. It's like there's very little actually places for you to direct people for new information. So we're going to go over actually this little profile optimization at the end, but you have one call to action. There's only one website link that you can put in your Instagram page. People can easily see your followers, your profile picture, your bio, your website link, and they can easily see your content. So that profile page is so important, has such clear organization that you can convert people very easily just through your profile. Oh, all right. Well, I might have to start picking up the pace here through this. All right, so here are the 3 C's of Instagram success. So these are my 3 C's of Instagram success. If you have all of these 3, I think you're in a really good place. So content, community, and call to action. So today, just based on time, we're going to get into the content piece of it. And we're going to talk about creating compelling content in order to help convert your audience. All right, let's get into it. So content is the information, inspiration, and beliefs that you make available to your audience through images, videos, and words. So content is king, right? So there's kind of 2 pieces, or actually there's way more than that, but a lot of people forget that a lot of people really focus on imagery and videos on Instagram, and you forget about the caption or the copy or the or your descriptions on your story slides or on your reels. And that's actually really important too. So if you're somebody who's really focused on the image and keeping your caption short, like some Drake lyrics or something like that, I invite you to think a little bit more about your caption, think a little bit more about how you can engage through those words. So we're going to get into that a little bit now. Before we do, I'm going to talk about the differences between an influencer and an entrepreneur. And the reason I put this in here in this presentation is because I think it's really important to distinguish the differences in these 2 types of accounts. So an influencer, which is very, very native to Instagram and where we saw a lot of the influencers come up through and become very successful, is that an influencer creates content based on what they want to share. So when they wake up in the morning, they think, okay, I'm going to show people what I'm doing today, my new cute top that I bought. I want to show people where I'm going to eat and all of those things. So they create it based on what they share. They share what they like. Their goal is to grow their audience, and they want to grow that audience wide, but not deep. So in order for them to make their money, they get brand deals or ad deals and things like this with bigger companies so that they can promote their products or services through that. So they just want as many followers as possible in order for companies to look at their profile and say, oh, this person has 50,000 followers. She would fall in this specific segment. We're going to get her to promote our clothing line. So that is how they make their money, is through oftentimes the number of followers that they have, and they're sharing what they want to share. An entrepreneur differs, okay? So when an entrepreneur wakes up in the morning, they should not think, what do I want to share today? They should think, what does my ideal client need to hear? So you really need to be in the heads of your ideal clients and thinking, you know, what are they really needing today? Could be because it's sunny outside, could be because it's raining outside, or it could be because you're really trying to solve a problem for them that they're having. So you want to share value. You want to identify that person's pain points and offer a solution for those pain points. And you want to grow your audience deep and not wide. So we're going to get to this in the next slide. I think it's in the next slide, but I just want you to know that the only number that matters for you, it's not your follower count, it's not the amount of likes or comments, not the amount of views that you have. The only number that's going to matter is the number in your bank account, okay? So you can make a lot of money with little amount of followers, and you can make no money with a lot of followers, okay? It's all about how your business is laid out and how you're actually operating your business on social media. You don't need to have a ton of followers to make money. And I just want to put that out there, especially as an entrepreneur. So here's the golden rules of Instagram content for businesses. So vanity metrics do not measure revenue. So just because you have 10,000 video views or 10,000 followers doesn't mean that you're necessarily making money. Now, if you've got a great system in place, and the more people you get in, the more people you're converting, awesome. But at the end of the day, vanity metrics don't measure revenue. So don't go to bed at night crying about how your Instagram photo only got 3 likes, because it doesn't matter. The human brain is drawn to nice aesthetics. So on Instagram, we see a lot of beautiful images, beautiful girls, hot guys, and we're drawn to those things. It gives us that dopamine hit. Adam, I saw you just like unmute your mic, and you know, Hot Dudes with Dogs is a really great account. You know, it gives you that dopamine hit that you're wanting. So yeah, we're drawn to nice aesthetics, and Instagram does a great job of helping us to really inject that into our content. So when you're thinking about the images that you're creating, you want them to be vibrant, symmetrical. You want them to look good and catch people's eyes, because the human brain is drawn to those kinds of things. Thirdly, marketing is repeating the same message over and over in different ways. So if you are worried about constantly having to create new content, I want you to get that worry out of your head right now, because the important thing about marketing is that you're reiterating your message over and over in order for people to get it. You have to throw your message at people like at least 7 times the same message in order for them to even pick up on that you've even said anything at all. So if you think that you always have to create new content, it's just not true. And then finally, whoever gives the most value will gain the most customers. So this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. When it comes to an entrepreneur, you want to think about what people need to hear, and that's value. And we're going to talk about that in a second now as well. All right, sometimes this is slow and it skips ahead. Okay. Austin is the king of value. That's awesome. See, like, value is just where it's at. We love to teach, we love to inform. So here are 3 proven content types for businesses. So my top 3. There are a lot of proven content types for businesses, okay? So you don't have to just stick to these 3, but I want to go over these 3 because they're my favorite ones. They are value content, journey or story content, and reviews, results, and testimonials. So let's get into that. All right. So value, which Austin is the king of, is basically educating, inspiring, or informing people. So you're giving people something to help keep them engaged and have them want to follow you. So you need to think about, in order to give value, you need to think about what problem are you solving? Who are you solving it for? What are their pain points? And oftentimes when I do these presentations or I talk to people about problems or pain points, it gives this very like negative connotation, but I really don't want you to think about it in that way, because no matter if you're selling dog food or you're selling like the key to life, we'll say, there's always some kind of solution that you can offer if you really dig deep in that. And it really doesn't matter if it's a product or if it's a service, nothing. You really want to get that some kind of emotional level to people and why those things are important to them. Like I mean, I remember learning, I'm going like off on a tangent, but I remember learning this in marketing school. Like we studied how successful Tide is as a laundry detergent. And they really turned Tide into such an emotional brand, and they have like so much market share. So no matter if you're selling a laundry detergent or, like I said, something really deep and emotional, you can always find what problem you're solving and really get inside the brains of people. So I'm just going to give you an example of the value that I give. I'm here giving you guys value about Instagram and how to create content. So I talk about this a lot on my Instagram. This is the main thing that I talk about, is Instagram tips, Instagram content, how to sell on Instagram, what to say on Instagram, how to take your photos, how to write a caption, what content to create. And so that's my value to people. I also talk a lot about entrepreneurship, personal development, those kinds of things, because my ideal client is a business owner. So that's going to be important to them. So you either want to be educating, inspiring, informing, and one other one that I don't have here is entertaining. That's another one too. So of course you see funny viral videos happen. And so if you're entertaining people, that's always a good thing. So some examples of value are how-tos, checklists, best practices, information. So if you own a camping site, you want a way to give value would be to create a checklist of what to pack in your camping bag. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. All right, so the next type of content is journey and story content. And I love this piece of content because it really hits everyone in the feels. And I've always been a big fan of like emotional content and really pulling at the heartstrings. And not necessarily pulling at the heartstrings in like a sad way, but just really creating an emotional response from somebody. So when you think about your journey and what your business is and what you're providing to people, you want to think about what makes you the perfect person to serve these people. So what makes you that person that somebody's going to say, I want her to guide me. I want her product or his product. I want that person to be the person that helps me with what I need. So why are you that person? What parts of your journey could others relate to? So maybe you have specific milestones or accomplishments or struggles or challenges in your journey that you can talk about that other people can relate to. And the more people can relate to you, the more they're going to like you, the more they like you, the more they're going to trust you, and the more they trust you, the more they're going to buy from you. Okay. So you want to really outline your journey. Think about where you've been. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And my chat box is covering my little graphic here, and I've said that. You really need to think about that. And, you know, I know a lot of people may or may not be comfortable sharing their story, but think about that and how it could help other people. That's what you really want to be leaning toward. And finally, what are you proud of and want to share? You know, what has happened in your business or your life that you want to share with your audience? And I know I talked about how we don't want to share what we want to share, but for this specific part of it, I really love when a fellow business owner or somebody who's a client of mine are sharing the things that they're proud of, because it all makes us feel better. Okay. It all makes us feel inspired and proud of that person. And it also helps you to become, you know, more trustworthy, more of an authority figure when you're sharing those success stories. It's all a great way to build into your content. And the final piece, the final proven content type that I'm going to go over is results, reviews, and testimonials. And this is actually the highest converting piece of content that you can produce. As long as you've got all the other steps in place, this is likely what's going to push someone to the next step of purchase or whatever your next step is in your business. So when you're thinking about how to share this kind of content on your social media, on your Instagram, you want to think about what milestones people will reach with your product or service. So if you are somebody who is a fitness coach or a weight loss coach, you know, are they going to lose 2 pounds in the first 2 weeks? Maybe you want to mark that as a milestone and identify when people get there, because that's going to help you outline your journey for your clients a little bit better too, so that you can check in with them to ensure that they are having those milestones. And then somebody else who's looking at it and saying, oh God, I just wish I could lose the last 5 pounds. And you're posting, my client lost 5 pounds in 5 weeks. And then that clicks with them and says, oh, this is real and this could be happening for me. How has your product or service transformed them or their problem? So going back to identifying what problem that you're solving, you want to have those successful clients and customers share with you how it's really changed their life. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a laundry detergent, dog food, or if it's something really meaningful. There's always something that you can get out of them that help make their life easier, likely. And the way to share this, a lot of people ask me, like, how do I actually share this? And there's actually so many ways. You can take a screenshot of a text message, of a DM, of a comment on Facebook or Instagram, a review on your Facebook page, because I know Facebook has a great place to put reviews. You can get clients to take videos for you. You could get them to write you up something that you could use in a graphic or something like that. So there's lots of ways to share it. You just, if you're not getting this in consistently now, you just need to encourage it, okay? All right, so I hope that made sense. And just let me know in the chat box if you followed that and if you got some of your content ideas. Because I know as I was going through this, you know, of my own strategy, I'm like, you know, the more I think about these things, and I always reiterate it, the more I think of new things that I could be posting, like, oh yeah, like I could be posting like this checklist or this testimonial, or maybe I can message this person. So let me know if you've thought of anything as we were going through this presentation. All right, so now I'm going to invite you to open up. So if you're on here, I want to invite you to open up your Instagram page right now. Hopefully you're going to be able to open it and still be able to hear and see us and all that. But we're going to do a little profile optimization for everybody here on the call. So I want you to take a look at your profile picture. Your profile picture should, if you are using it for your business and your personal brand of your business, and you're kind of like the face of your brand, I want you to be your profile picture, not your logo. So the more people can put a face to a brand, the better. So put yourself as your profile picture. Your name should include something about your business. So when I say name, I mean up here where it says Olivia social media tips, and it's a little bit bolded. So this section on Instagram is actually searchable. So if you put something in there about what your business is, it's going to actually help you come up more when people are searching for your types of services. So opt for something about your business rather than your full name. And I've even seen people not have a name section at all. So definitely change that up. Your bio is what tells people what you do and who you help. So this is an old screenshot, but in my bio, I run a coaching program that helps entrepreneurs grow their businesses through social media marketing. So you want to tell people what you do and why they should follow you. Who do you help? What do you do? Why should somebody stick around in your bio? And if you're not using up your full character count, definitely use that up. I also have a call to action right below that. So pre-enroll for the Social Suite Bootcamp, and I have my one website link there that I'm able to tell people what I want them to do next. And I have your website link as your next step. So whatever your next step is, whether it's you're taking bookings, you have a freebie to download to join your email list, whether you have a website that you want people to go and purchase from, that should be what your call to action is. Moving on down, your highlight section helps people to discover more about why they should take that next step. So the highlight section is such a great place, guys. Like, it's such a great feature of Instagram because you can hold a lot of information there that people can kind of go in and look around, especially if people are really like on the cusp of like buying from you. You want to have like your testimonials there, an about you there. Why should people purchase from you? If you have a program, like what's the steps in your program? I like to tell people to think about your highlight section like tabs on a website. Like, what would you have on your website? You can actually make that in your highlight section. And then finally, create raving fans through your content. So of course, if you scroll down on your Instagram profile, you're going to see all your posts, your reels, your IGTVs are all going to be here. And so you want this content to really resonate with your audience and really be on point and on brand for you. Whew, I don't know what time we're at, but I think that clues up this part of it. So thank you for listening and tuning in. And I just have a little plug-in here to discover your power through Instagram. You're going to sign up for the Social Suite Bootcamp. So I do have a group coaching program starting tomorrow. If you're interested in learning more about the 3 C's of Instagram success and how to find your power on Instagram, create that compelling content for your business specifically, then you can join up for that. And Adam, I'll pass it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Olivia. Everyone, let's give it up for Miss Crane there. You cracked me up there at the end. I heard you say it's time to clue it up. And that was a phrase that I hadn't heard until I moved to Newfoundland. I told my fiance, she's like, yeah, just clue it up. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? So it means finish things up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I
awesome.
didn't know that with the Newfoundland thing either till very recently. So that's funny.
Okay.
You mentioned it.
Cool. So yeah, there we go. You got a little Newfoundland spice in there. So Olivia, fantastic presentation, guys. We're going to go to Q&A now. We've got a few minutes, and then also, as always, to incentivize our live audience. Look, let me see if I can time this up. To incentivize you guys for being here with us, boom, we're going to do a live breakout session after this Q&A, which is on the recorded portion, on the replay. If you're on the replay, hey, we do appreciate you being here with us. But next time, come join us live. There we go. We got the camera transition down that time. So, all right, we do have one question already in here. Audience, please feel free to populate that Q&A box so we can get Olivia answering some questions. And then in the meantime, I will double check the Facebook comments as well. And then Austin, feel free to chime in with questions too. So here we go. Olivia, first one, how long do you think Reels will be viral or remain popular?
I think there's really no way to tell the timing of how long it will be. What I can say about it is anytime Instagram, like I know we're talking about Instagram specifically, so anytime Instagram comes out with a new feature, use it. That is going to be the best time to start to use it, is pretty much right when it comes out, and that'll help you go viral. In terms of the timing of how long it will stay there, it really just depends on how many people jump on board and how long, it's going to be around until the next feature comes up. So I think Reels was like something that came obviously because of TikTok. And so you never know what's going to actually influence what happens. But just my recommendation is just to get on it as soon as possible.
So the next question from Vicky is, how do you post to Instagram from Facebook or connect the two platforms?
So you want to connect both your business pages. So you want to make sure that you have a business page on Instagram. You can do that in your settings. There's a lot of settings there, so you might have to dig for it. But once you do that, you can post both from Instagram to Facebook and Facebook to Instagram, which a lot of people don't know this. If you're looking for a free scheduling app, so if you're looking to create content and post at a later date, go to your Facebook business page and go to publishing tools, create a post, and you can tick off Instagram and Facebook, and you can schedule the post for later. And that's how you do that.
I'll be 100% honest. I was working on my Instagram while she was doing the presentation, because she has me thinking about a lot of stuff. So I was taking the notes. Something I wanted to ask you personally, because we talked about this morning on the call we had. I think a lot of times as business owners or influencers, whatever that you want to call us, entrepreneurs, our own personal brand, we feel obligated to produce content all the time, and that takes up a bandwidth. When I have north of 2,000 quick tip videos, and I don't think we as people that post social media repurpose our content enough. And that for me is the next 3 months is 100. You feel like it always needs to be something new, but as long as your message stays the same, you gain and lose fans. So when you said, you just got to keep posting so they see what your message is, that for me hit so home. And I think we got to get out of the game of feeling like we always have to be producing.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. I'm glad that resonated with you. And even down to if a post performed really well, repost it. Go back and dig through and repost it. 2 reasons. One, Instagram's not pushing out that post to every single one of your followers. They're not seeing it. 2, you've probably gotten new followers since you posted that. So, and then 3, if somebody sees it twice, great. So yeah, definitely repurpose it.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I forgot about it. Kind of goes with a recent theory that I heard, which is if you sell somebody a product and they're on an email list, everyone's panicking that you need to remove them from that email list of the same sales pitch, when in reality, it actually reinforces them and encourages them. Oh, I just bought this book. I got to read it again.
Exactly.
Well,
go ahead.
What we do, and I'd love to hear your viewpoint on this. Instagram came out with the rooms, right? Live, the 4 people. Mm-hmm. And we're doing one tonight. I'm doing one the next day. I've done a lot. And there's so much value in cross pollinating audiences of different
Oh my
sectors and
gosh.
different businesses, and people find
Oh my
me, they
gosh.
find my podcast. It's changing my reach.
So that would, if the presentation was longer, we would actually went into that, because collaboration is a huge part of growth. And like, you know, sometimes I have clients come to me and they're wondering why they're not growing in followers, and it's because they're not collaborating with other people. So like, again, this is not Facebook 2012, right? This is we're dealing with saturated platforms, all right? And it's just as well to say it. And so the more that you can collaborate with like-minded people, doing the lives, the rooms, even getting shout outs on different accounts. What was the other thing? Oh, you said like podcast. Like, I look at someone's Instagram account now, and if they're doing well and they have like a big number of followers, my initial reaction is not that they had anything to do with their Instagram content. It's actually that they have different sources out there on the internet leading people back to their Instagram. So if you have a podcast, a YouTube channel, even if it's like a Facebook page, a TikTok, Clubhouse, like, you can get followers from all of those different types of platforms. And it's really important to be, like you said, Austin, cross-pollinating, and then also just using those other places to draw your followers into your Instagram. If that's where you're getting, you want to draw them to Instagram. Sorry to go on about this. You want to draw them to Instagram because Instagram is a great place to build relationships and a great place to sell. So it's a great place to have those people be.
And I think one of the things, and Adam, I think you're pretty good at it, I think we both specialize in it, is sometimes, as let's say that you're a flipper, I'm just using that as an example, you're a real estate flipper. In my opinion, you talk to too many flippers. Like, I like to go like, okay, I'm a real estate mindset coach. Let me go talk to a doctor. Like, let me go talk to a thing, because he has a following that is predicated on his thing. And we're kind of this cross section of bringing different people into the world, where a message that you're sending might resonate to a different business sector, is kind of something I live on in my business kind of marketing, I guess.
Yeah, great. That's a great point.
Yeah, that you're right, Austin. And so just real quick though, we got enough time for one more question coming in here for Mauricio. And then, as I mentioned, after this, and we close things out, we'll go to a 15-minute live breakout session with Olivia. So final question coming in from my boy, Mauricio Botero in the DMV. You live in an awesome part of the world and the States. Lived there for a little bit myself. Any more tips, Olivia, any more tips or guidance on what should go on Instagram stories versus posts, or any tips or advice on other apps to use to produce content like meant to fit into IG stories?
So I think the main thing here is just to identify what's the difference between a post and a story. So an Instagram post is something that's going to go up, that's going to stay on your feed, that's going to be there unless you archive or delete it. A story is something that you post that's going to disappear after 24 hours unless you put it in your highlight section. I actually get this question a lot. What should be the difference? And I want your stories to be a lot about you and your face and you talking and behind the scenes and I know we talked about like not showing like what you want to post, but like if you can show like what your life looks like you want to be basically the ideal version of what your ideal client wants to be. So if your ideal client, is looking to, let's just say, grow an Instagram audience and wants to be really big on social media, then you need to be that person for them. And so showing what your routines in the morning, maybe you get up and you meditate. Okay, so I'm going to post like, I'm going to meditate on gaining 10,000 followers. And by showing people that that's what you do, they're going to be like, that's what I need to do. And that was like a silly little example. But if you can show people what your routines are behind the scenes, what your workday looks like, a lot about you and a lot of your face, I would definitely recommend. And then in terms of posts, of course, that stuff does well as well. But it's more, to me, a post is more like professional in a way. It's like your marketing. This is like, it should be on brand. It should be, your content should be there. Your writing should be there. On stories is definitely a more laid back place to be. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. It's inspiring. I mean, it's making me think about how I want to approach this, because I know that stories are definitely something that I'm underutilizing and just trying to figure out the sweet spot. I've heard that before. It's kind of like your personal reality TV show is how
Yeah.
The stories are.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good way to put it.
so Olivia, real quick, we'll probably get this a couple more times, but right now, the best way for our audience to follow you, just keep in touch with you. We're gonna stick with obviously Instagram, but what's the handle again?
It's at Amplified Social.
All
So
right.
my whole thing is to be heard, guys. Be heard. Amplify your business. Amplify your voice.
There you go. And we're honored to have you here with us. All right. So guys, if you found value in today's message and you're here with us on the replay, again, be sure to like, share, and subscribe there. It really helps with the performance of future next level webinars and helps us bring on more high profile guests like Olivia. And again, remember, you can go follow her at Amplified Social, right? That was it, right? Amplified Social.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
there it is. Okay. I got confused because I know you have your, sometimes I see your personal account too, which is maybe we can go down that rabbit hole another time.
yeah.
But she's got a personal account too that you can
That
kind of
gets
see
neglected.
the difference.
It's neglected.
And you know, one more time here. So start with Austin and then Olivia. Any closing remarks?
No, everything was great. I'm looking forward to watching the replay and digging into my Instagram. So thank you so much, Olivia.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It was like so awesome to even just chat with you guys. And I hope everybody got a little bit of value out of it. And yeah, let's connect further. Let's not stop it here. You know, let's keep the party going. So everybody connect with me on Instagram.
Love it. And one more big thank you to our team, especially Fletcher, who couldn't be here with us today, Fletcher Wheaton, and Aaron Eiler, who's working diligently behind the scenes right now. Can't do this without you guys. Liberty Real Estate Fund is our sponsor, the world's first single tenant net lease security token. For more information on Liberty Fund, you can go to libertyfund.io. And we are also sponsored by Raise Masters, the #1 mastermind for elite capital raisers. You can learn more by following the link in the comments that Aaron so graciously is about to drop. You can also find that link in the show notes if you're on the replay. One final thank you to our audience. You guys rock. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Adam Carswell. Shout out to our co-host, Austin Linney. Excuse me. Austin, I did not almost forget your name. I was just getting ahead of myself. And then we were joined today by Olivia Crane of Amplified Social. Go connect with everyone. And guys, remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.